Greetings, Twitter. Good evening. I'm here again live, and I have something interesting I wanted to share. I was going through my Twitter feed and reading some news articles this evening, and I came across an article that caught my attention, and I wanted to talk about it here on my Twitter. Um, this is actually a news story that I read on a news media that's not even in my home state. I mean, the article is about a lawsuit that is here in Texas, but as obviously the news media that I read it off of was out of state. So, but basically, and I'm not going to get into detailing it because I have not read the entire story, nor have I read the lawsuit, but I am interested in doing so. And basically, the lawsuit stems from 5 pregnant women that are suing the state of Texas to have the abortion law changed or clarified. They're not seeking to block it. Amazing as it sounds, I mean, I think they were in the right to do it if they wanted to, but they're only asking for clarification. Now, what makes this lawsuit unique is that these are pregnant women forced to carry their fetuses to term, fetuses that had some sort of medical defect or issue that doctors wanted to terminate the pregnancy earlier to prevent any distress, prevent any illness, prevent any harmful effects to these mothers. Yet they were not able to do so because the abortion law in Texas did not allow it. One instance of one pregnant woman, from what I read, was that she had twins. One of the two fetuses was not growing correctly and was had some issue. I don't know exactly what was going on, but suffice to say, the doctor said it was medically necessary for them to terminate the one fetus to be able to save the other. I don't know what the exact medical ramifications are with that, but suffice it to say, the doctor was trying to get this lady to go do the abortion somewhere else. I don't know what the exact details of what happened after that, but suffice it to say, she did have complications in the process. Another one that was mentioned in the article was a lady who said that was pregnant, said that the doctor said the fetus had defects, one of which was that they didn't have a skull, and that they wanted to terminate the pregnancy on that because there was no viable way that the fetus was going to survive without a skull. I mean, I don't know how complicated the issue was or what the ramifications were, but, for the doctors to make that determination, it must have been severe. Those were 2 or 3 that were read in the articles. I don't remember reading the details on the others. I don't think they were mentioned. I don't know, but they said that there was 5. What I'm getting at is that these women have decided to sue the state of Texas. Right now, they probably filed a lawsuit. And what makes this unique is that this lawsuit would, if filed correctly, would be a very distinct lawsuit from the ones that have been filed previously. All the lawsuits that have been filed previously, with respect to the abortion law in Texas, were basically having to do with the enforcement mechanism of the law, which is that that the state could not enforce it, but people could sue abortion providers for facilitating abortions. So the mechanism of enforcement was civilian rather than the law, okay, or the government. So that was what made has been made it difficult to change this law, because these lawsuits were more about enforcement mechanism rather than anything else. This lawsuit, however, is totally different because the lawsuit is dealing with women that have suffered some sort of physical illness, physical health issues, damages health-wise. You know, their lives were put in danger. So this is a little bit, or not a little, but this is a whole lot different than the previous lawsuits, and it leads one to believe that these women more than likely have a strong case with respect to this with this issue. I mentioned it previously in other videos that and posts that I have made with respect to these other lawsuits, that I said that unfortunately these lawsuits, because of the enforcement mechanism, were not going to be successful, but that the only manner of somebody prevailing against this law is a pregnant woman that has actually suffered damages could sue to probably have the law blocked because of the damages physically, mentally, emotionally that they would have because of the lack of the available manner of having an abortion for that specific type of situation. And I said, and I think I remember saying to the effect that if a lawsuit of that nature were to be filed, the outcome on that stands to be totally different than these other lawsuits. I said it was only going to be a matter of time before that particular type of lawsuit would get filed here in the state of Texas, and I was right. And to this point, I'm right, because it has only been a matter of time. Now these women are suing. It is going to be interesting to see the outcome that is going to come from this type of lawsuit, because number one, these women stand to have a very strong case. If all their medical issues are documented, if they have all their pardon the phrase, if they have all their ducks lined in a row, they will have a very strong case against the Texas abortion law. And this is something that hopefully will make lawmakers understand that when you pass a law, you got to be very clear, and you got to be very detailed in how you write it out, and you have to have written in safeguards for these specific types of instances. These were not included in the actual law. The law is vague because it says that unless the woman is at the point of death or gravely ill, does it really have to get to that? In my opinion, it doesn't. The fact of the matter is that it is so grave. It's so vague that these women were actually brought to the point of almost dying simply because these doctors did not want to risk violating the law. So these instances documented properly will serve as a very strong case against the passage of this law. Now, what's going to happen? More than likely, a judge is going to choose to block the law until such a time as these lawmakers can make these clarifications. That's a very, very, very distinct and a very, very real possibility, if you think about it. Will the judge be willing to make the clarifications? I don't know. Judges are not supposed to legislate from the bench. It's going to be interesting to see, because somehow or some way, these women, they are going to be physically entitled to damages. What those damages are remains to be seen, because they will have the concrete medical proof that they went through the ordeals, concrete proof as to what they suffered and why they suffered it. That there is the clearest evidence that these women are going to have to be able to prove their case. So it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out, because this is going to be a very different scenario, majorly different than the previous cases that we've seen before. And the results of this case may serve as a precedent for other cases in other states. That's why this is going to be so interesting. What will the judge decide to do? What will his decision be with respect to what these women went through? Is he going to rule in their favor, or is he going to devalidate what they went through? I mean, and if he does, they're going to have to appeal, and time will tell if this case goes beyond the state Supreme Court into the federal court. We don't know. It's going to be a long waiting game, but the end result will be the most interesting thing we'll have seen to date with respect to abortion laws. Who knows? This may be the next Roe versus Wade. We don't know. Only time will tell. Thank you. Good night.